Rooted in resilience, inspired by nature, powered by movement. The podcasts where healing meets empowerment. Let's rise and thrive together. And now, here are your hosts, Scott and Melissa.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Vital Edge Wellness Coaching's podcast, Rise and Thrive. I'm Scott Sadler. I'm here with my co-host, Melissa Hedstrom. And I'm the owner of Scott Sadler Coaching, and Melissa owns Optimal Living. And together we've created this amazing podcast under the Vital Edge Wellness Coaching umbrella, where we do retreats and we coach and we bring in amazing guests like we have today with Jackie, who we'll get to in just a moment. But as you know, first, we're going to do a mindful moment, and Melissa's going to lead us through her version of a minute, which is longer than my version of a minute, which is always great.
Right, because I just want to stay there longer.
I know you do.
All right, so wherever you are at, eyes closed or open, let a nice big sigh come through. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Exactly, yeah, just let it go. Just allowing yourself this moment to come into the present moment. Feeling that physical layer of your body start to soften. A little release to your jaw and your tongue. And I just offer that little shift of your awareness to the sensation of your inhale and your exhale. And in particular today, I'd like you to notice that there is a brief pause at the top and bottom of that inhale and exhale. And I like to think of that brief pause as that little portal into your sacred space, into that stillness. So I'm going to be quiet for a few moments and let you just notice your own natural pause without making it happen as you breathe in and breathe out. And then as you're ready to, coming from that place of stillness, let a nice deep breath happen once again in through the nose. And let it out. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them, look around a little bit, and then we'll re-engage and welcome Jackie today. So,
Thank you. That was wonderful. Wonderful. Now I have to remind Melissa to speak up after coming out of meditation because she will be super quiet.
I get whispery.
Yeah, you do.
I'm sorry. I'll get loud.
Jackie, welcome to Rise and Thrive.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Jackie and I go way back. My friend and colleague referred me to Jackie. I don't even remember what our first session was about now, but I was in a tough spot. And I reached out to Jacquelyne and we had our first session. And Jacquelyne is an amazing intuitive, psychic, animal communicator. And that was it for me. She became a part of my spiritual advising team. And I have relied on her since then over the last, I think, somewhere between 10 and 15 years. My memory for the past is not great with dates. But at every phase of my personal life and my business life, I have asked Jacquelyne to be my reflective partner and to check in with my own spirit, my own guides, to embolden my own trust in myself, to make sure that I'm listening to myself. I'm happy to say most of the time that my intuition has been accurate. But to have someone, I got goosebumps, to have someone on the outside that is in touch with these energies, these spiritual energies that can reflect back to you or as a reflective partner has been invaluable for me. And today you're going to learn a little bit about Jacquelyne and her past and her history and what she's doing now and how she's helping support individuals and indeed the energies we need in the world today. And she's on her own human journey, and maybe she'll share a little bit about that too and how she uses her own skills and tools to support herself, as we all need to do. So I can't say enough about her, and we've been waiting for this for months to get her on the show. And we're just really grateful that she's here. And I know you've had your own experiences with
yes, yeah.
Jacquelyne. So
And shared her with many others too.
yes,
So I appreciate the support as, a health provider, being able to have people that are open and willing and go to that deeper layer. Being able to have a resource like Jackie to send them to, and myself included. And I've kind of made an annual tradition to have my kids check in too.
Yeah.
So I appreciate her having moments with them as well
Yeah.
to just help them to start look from that inside, that intuition. And like Jackie said on a call, one of my past calls is, I'm just reaffirming you, and this is reaffirming your direction and path. And so it is nice to hear when you're often confused and questioning a lot, even though there's that knowing. But it's so nice to have that touchstone with you. So
Yeah, and I'll add one more thing in that I went through that massive betrayal I refer to on the show so often, and my first call was a Saturday morning to Jacquelyne, and um, just was super helpful. It still affects me to be able to have her to be able to reflect things off of outside of my own head. And that was a tough time for me. And she was really great to help me reroute and start to grow again. So Jacquelyne, after 36 years of doing this professionally, where did this start? Where did this gift start from you as a child, or did it start as a child? And how did it lead to your professional career?
It being sensitive, being energetically sensitive, sensing, feeling, hearing, seeing things that nobody else around me was. That was all my life. I tried not to. I mean, my mother was scared of it. My friends didn't want to hear about it. Nobody else was doing it. I was trying not to. But it wouldn't leave me. I remember my parents having some adult friends come in over one day. My computer's a little loud. And they were bringing their friends to the house. And I stood at the door for the longest time waiting for them to introduce the people who came with them. But they didn't, because they didn't see them. So it took me a while to learn to not talk about it. When I was in my 30s, early 30s, about 31, 32, a friend talked me into doing a psychic fair in Portland. And I said, I'm not a psychic. I'm not a psychic. But they kept encouraging me. And so finally I bought a table at the psychic fair. And then I sat there for 10 minutes saying, please don't let anybody come to me. Please don't let anybody. And then, my own inner guidance was like, you're going to look like a darn fool if you're the only one nobody's coming to. So then I got very prayerful and I said, let only those who would best be served come to me. Only those who would resonate with me, who would best be served by coming to me, come to me. And then people started coming. And it's like, oh, now I understand what this is, because I was hearing the answer to their questions as they were asking it. And that showed me this ain't coming from me, but something in me is allowing this to happen. So by that time, I was already full-time practitioner. I was doing energy work. I was doing regressions. I was doing hypnotherapy. I was doing breath work. And I started literally getting a tap on the shoulder. Tell them about this. Oh, talk about that. No. I was literally saying, make me useful, make me useful, make me useful. Not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crap. Tell them about that. No. So I said, if it's really true and helpful, you're going to have to give it to me 3 times or I'm going to ignore it. Honest to God, I thought I'd never have to give anything. That wasn't what happened. A deal's a deal. I'd hear the same darn thing 3 times. It's like, all right, all right, I'll give it. And then I would dare to say it, and the client would be like, wow, that's amazing. How'd you know that? I didn't know that. So finally, I understood the reason for it. And I've been just surrendered ever since. And the crazy thing is, after 36 years, it's almost 35,000 readings. Not a job I would have signed up for.
Yeah.
Crazy job.
Mm.
So you mentioned that you had these sensations or you sense things at a young age. Would you say that we all have that in us from a young age? And do we adult ourselves out of it?
I'd say the majority of people do, but most of my clients are what Dr. Elaine Aron called HSPs, highly sensitive people. And the HSP person is someone who's energetically sensitive. And everybody who's HSP is naturally way more psychic. They live in the world of the subtle. So their awareness to energy and vibration is a lot stronger than, they're 1 in 5 of the population. So 80% of the world does not have that. But everybody has what I call passive, pretty unconscious intuition. The fight or flight, um, get to higher ground, duck and cover. That's a form of intuition. And you want that on 24/7. And then the reason that most people don't get more, and that kind of intuition will save your life. But why most people don't get more, first reason is they don't ask a question. You just don't. I mean, I want your intuition on 24/7. I want you to be guided and directed, and I want you to feel spiritual support. But if you have an intuitive question, if you have a concern, personally, professionally, you got to form a question. That sounds funny, but I have people call me and say, "What about Bob?" What do you want to know about Bob? It's a big question.
Yeah.
Right?
Ask the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get past life information. I got to find out, well, who's Bob to you now? And what are we asking? So figure out how to form a question. One question, not the meaning of the universe. One question. And then you got to get out of your way, because typically when we humans seek intuitive guidance or direction, we have a problem. We have a concern. We're attached to the outcome or the answer. 99% of the time when I ask a question, I'm already in the way of the answer because I already think I know the answer. I'm already, worried about a relationship with a friend. And I'm already like, well, I know she's going to say that, and I already feel that. And so I'm already in my own story. So I got to empty what I think, what I believe, what I'm expecting, what I'm afraid of out of my system to get what's new, what, what's fresh, what's available. And then I got to have like one, I call it alignment. I want what's the best and highest good. Mm. And then this sounds kind of funny, but I'm going to be home to receive the message. You understand that? Eh, when most of us seek intuitive guidance, we get spacey. We go up and out of body, and we go out here. And then it's really hard. Even if I get something, I don't know how to interpret it. I don't know how to make use of it. So, what I require is that my intuition be usable, doable, practical, understandable. Mhm. So, it's simple. It's a lot simpler than we think.
I think that's always been the case. Yeah.
Simpler than we think.
Yeah.
Right. I think we try to complicate it, right?
Definitely.
And then, of course, that getting in our own. I like how you said we have to be open. We're home to hear it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That applies to so many things.
Because we can think we want to know, but when all of our conditions and our past is in the way,
Yeah.
we're not actually receiving the message.
Mm-mm.
Right.
I'm sure they exist, but I've never met anybody that's 100% accurate. You know, I don't even try to be. You know, no.
Yeah, that's interesting because you're just relaying what you're hearing or seeing. And so you don't know if it's your intellect does not know if it's accurate or not, right? You're sharing information. Yeah, makes sense. How do you manage the question or the fusion of spiritual beliefs or religion, depending on how you want to slice it, with the highly sensitive people or intuitive senses?
Guess I'm not certain I understand the question. To me, there's 4 different types of energetic sensitivity. Physical, body sensations, I'm getting the physical read of something. Uh, Emotional, empathic sensitivity, mental, energetic sensitivity that you two have very strongly. It's a form of genius and mental curiosity and hunger. That's part of that mental sensitivity. That's the geniuses and the mad scientists. And then what I call spiritual, which has nothing to do with religion. Most energetically sensitive folks who are spiritually sensitive would say they're agnostic, um, or they're very attuned to spirited nature and not necessarily a dogma or a specific teaching.
Oh, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great description. Sorry, no, you go.
I do think what you said earlier was very true. Probably 75% of us are told not to be sensitive. Right? I was told not to be sensitive. Nobody wanted it. Nobody liked it. I didn't understand that there was any value to it. So unless or until we understand what it is and we know how to work with it, it can just feel like a burden and a challenge. Because you've got access to all this information, most of which is not particularly useful or valuable to you at any given moment.
Right.
Well, that was gonna be one of my questions for you is how do you manage as you started to realize this capacity that you had, how you manage it for yourself that when you walk into a room, I thought, "How does she handle walking into a room and there's all these people and she's maybe getting a flood of information?" To protect your own energy and how to balance that.
That is challenging. Uh, and I would say everybody that I know who's energetically sensitive, they're sensitive in more than one type. And typically one is a superpower and a real gift, and another is in the challenge zone. And for me, my physical sensitivity is in the challenge zone. So I do have to do a lot to manage being around other people. I live in the country. I don't get to do a lot of travel anymore right now. A couple of reasons for that, but yeah, I don't do crowds and loud gatherings. There's just when you understand what your sensitivity is, you know what you need to do in order to manage it and in order to increase your, I don't know, your resiliency and your fluidity and all of that, how to move with it. Takes a lot of focus. I had to learn how to narrow things down.
I've never asked you this question, but do you do? You said earlier you don't like do universe stuff, or you're very specific about needing a specific question from an individual. But do you do state of the world? Do you get state of the world intuitiveness?
Yes and no. Most of my clients are asking about themselves and their life and their soul history. I'm real good at looking at someone's personal, spiritual, akashic records, that kind of thing. There's so much free will, and we are in such a uh, tumultuous transition. Uh, I can look at the future through the present window, but that's just moving forward in time, not changing anything. And there's just too many people involved and too many possibilities to get any kind of accurate read on anything like that. For me anyway.
I love that. Actually, I love that answer. There's so much free will, and I think so many people forget that they have free will when they're stuck or feeling like they don't have ability to move out of something or forward to something. And that speaks to the tumultuous times we're in. And I think that's a really great answer.
It's, hard for so many people now 'cause, when most humans I think my experience is when many humans when we get scared, when we get anxious, we get mad, right? So we got a lot of people who are scared, and we got a lot of people who are pissed off right now. And so that polarity and duality is so active in us individually, what we're drawn to or repelled against and all that. And then you've got the collective miasm, just so stirred up right now in duality on steroids. Right. So I operate more on the human, helping the human to integrate soul and personality, making the spiritual walk just really practical and personal.
So I know you do a lot of work with helping people on those 4 different, sensitivities. What would be a support to those listening to our episode here that start to resonate with some of those sensitivities to, um,
Oh
start
gosh,
to
I
manage or connect or
I would love to have had ready my link to my, sensitivity survey that they could take for free. I'll make sure that I get that for you if anybody's listening and going, "Oh gosh, I'd like to have that." Um, 'Cause that gives you the profile, you know, where you're sensitive, how you're sensitive, and then if they wanna know more, they can, get a more detailed response from me on that that's more personal, and then if they wanna go even deeper, we can talk about which ones are in the happy place, which ones are in the challenge zone, and what to do about that.
Oh, I like that.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're
you
on
gotta do
it.
it.
We're
You
on
can
it.
take it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a little hunch.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm always surprised how my hunches are not right on these things. I'm like, I'm this. And you're like, I'm that. I've been doing it wrong all these years. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what would be something that you would share with someone that's like sitting here, just listening, being like, yeah, I've been kind of shutting that down all these years, and how can I step into it and own it and have it be a helpful thing for
Well, it
themselves and
truly is a
others?
gift. It's the channels and pathways that are directly related to your experience of spiritual support and personal guidance and direction. So it is truly for your best and highest good. But as corny as it sounds, it's needed right now on the whole planet for you to step into your gift, step into your awareness. It's needed. It's truly needed. So that's ministry. That's you expressing your nature and essence as the soul. Those of you who are energetically sensitive are wired for service. You're you just are. You're the ones who go into the healing arts, and you're the ones who are studying and teaching, and there's a drive to serve.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would want most emotional empaths to hear this. Y'all need to learn to observe, but not absorb. To not take
She's
things.
speaking to us.
I think you're speaking to us, right?
I mean, that's part of your love, that's part of your nature is to be able to sense the emotional component or aspect of something. But you need to get close enough to know what it is without getting in it. I have to know that my client's in a boat that's sinking and bailing water. But if I get in the boat with them and it's like, damn, this is scary. I'm not a resource. Right? Resource there.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie, for saying that. Yeah. I've had another colleague describe it like that they've learned to get in and get out and be
Get
able
in and get out.
to help them. Get in and get out and be able to help them see
Yeah.
what they need in that.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of us can't even get in. When I was a baby psychic, I was just going wherever people would ask me to go. And so, again, what about Bob? Well, I'm in this alcoholic for 20 minutes and I'm in this cancer cell for another 10 minutes and I'm over here in this Lyme disease and I was all over the place like, maybe that's not good for you, Jackie. Maybe you don't need to be doing that. Maybe you can look at it. Maybe you can get close enough to, just inform you, but not enough to taste it. You don't need it that close. Right.
So much of that comes with age and experience as I reflect on my own life through your words right now. And I probably couldn't have done that in my 30s or 20s as I can today because intuitively I've learned that you can't solve for everybody and you can't take it all on to solve for everybody. And
No.
so you don't necessarily have to get in, get out as much as you got to know when you need to get out for your own journey and your own protection. And this relates to toxic relationships. This relates to toxic positivity. This relates to whoever or whatever does not align with you and your values. And sometimes you don't see it, and the universe says, "Well, no, you need to move, and you're going to move, or you're going to suffer." And so I don't want to suffer anymore. I don't want to go through those lessons any longer. And I'm more sensitive to when I need to pivot. And we talk about that a lot on our show. When it comes to wellness, physical, mental, spiritually, when it comes to money or business, we want people to pivot quickly and learn. They don't have to stay stuck where they are, even if they don't know where they're going, that the door will open. And I think that's that helps with stages a little earlier, a little easier as we get older.
For sure. For sure. And practice, your intuition needs space and it needs practice. We typically ask for intuition when the shit hits the fan, right? When we're in trouble, when we're like freaking out about something, I want guidance. It's like, it's the worst time to get guidance. Again, I'm attached. I already think I know the answer. I'm afraid that it's going to be this. So practicing when it's not urgent, it teaches you your language. Our intuitive language is different. It's unique to you. Right? I don't teach intuitive development, really. I don't teach people how to be intuitive like me. I teach them how to open their own. And that's going to be very unique to each person. I'm real simple. I get cartoons.
Well, I was just going to come back to it, just really connected when you mentioned like being open, which goes right in connection with practice, is to actually ask the question, check in with the support around you. We don't even think about doing that. We just try to muscle through or do the next thing versus stop, pause, give yourself some space, ask for the help, just energetically, and your guides, and even to have that, like you said, your own language to actually practice, just like what it would be like to just pause and check in. Who's around right now? Who's here for support? And then practice what questions come through you, like you said, that your own language. And I like that because it gives me a tactile thing to start practicing. Like, oh yeah, I don't think about that. Like, I do at different times, but like more regularly, make it more of a practice to just hone in and know that they're right there.
They're right there,
waiting.
right there.
And so I love how
another
you
more
frame that.
advanced step is to go where the answer is. If you know where the answer is. Now, a lot of times we don't know. It's like, I don't know. Is this the universe? This is, the divine. But if you know where the answer is, you go there. If I'm concerned about my cat's left back foot, I need to put my focus there. I'm not over here going into Blue Land. I'm putting my attention here. I'm asking her foot, what's going on with your foot, baby? Right. So again, that narrows the focus way down.
Sounds so simple.
And it is, right, Jackie? It is, but it isn't, right?
It is, but it isn't. For the question, get yourself out of the way. You're going to stay home to receive it. You're asking for what's in the best
like
and
that.
highest good. And you go to where the answer is if you know where that is. I'm asking about my kidney. I need to go to the kidney.
So much good info.
Yeah. I'm soaking in it right now.
I want to go soak in and practice. Jacquelyne, if people want to work with you, how do they find you, and how do they get in touch with you and take maybe some of your courses or set a session?
They can call me at my business line. This is an old landline, children. It is not a text line. Old school, baby. My phone landline is 208-267-1652, and I'm here in Idaho, Pacific time. They could reach me in my email address, and I don't see a chat to write that in, but you could.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes and everything.
What about your website? What's your website URL?
That is Sacred Dialogues, SACRED, and then another DIALOGUES.com. Yeah. So yeah.
So what's your latest offering when it comes to your cohorts or classes? I know that I don't know if this is still what you're doing, but you were doing a lot with women. And what's happening today? Update us on that.
I'm still doing that. I still do a lot of private readings, a lot of private intuitive readings. So you can still do that. And for those of you who are in the midst of a major life transition or helping someone else to go through a major life transition, I'm also offering personal immersions, which is a real deep experience over 7-8 hours. It's a very different kind of experience. So that I can only do 2 of those a month. And then that's a lot. And then I'm doing the Gathering Place, which is for women only, and I do teach once or twice a month. And then we have guest teachers who come in too. And that's a blast, and that's a dream come true. For years, I've had amazing, talented clients who have wisdom that I don't have, that I wanted to share to, implement. I don't have that. I don't have everything. So it's like, oh, you need to talk to so and so, or you need, help with this, and I don't have that. So the Gathering Place brings these amazing teachers together to share their wisdom and insight. And then we meet live every Saturday. And so I'm teaching and I'm facilitating in there too. Yeah. And then I'm doing a class also for professional practitioners who want to learn how to share intuition in their practice, the do's and don'ts of doing that. Yeah.
So you don't have much going on.
Oh. Bored out of my mind.
Yeah. I will tell our listeners and our viewers that if you'd like a session with Jacquelyne, you're not going to get in tomorrow. She's generally, in my experience, booked about 6 weeks out when I go to book. And so it depends on I suppose, but don't delay if you want to get on the calendar with her, because it's not, as you can tell, she's got a lot going on, and she's doing very well in her offerings to the world. And any parting thoughts before we?
No, I just appreciate you, Jackie. Thank you.
Thank you both. Thank you for
taking
having
care
me.
of us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you can count on coming back, because I have so many other things that I want to talk about with you.
Okay.
So rest assured, listeners, that we'll have Jacquelyne back in, and we'll have more time with her. But
we'll do it. We can
but
talk
until then,
about
reach out.
soulmates and soulmate relationships. They're never passive. They're never boring or ordinary. We can talk about all kinds of things, spirit guides, whatever you got on your mind. So,
yes.
all right.
All right.
Thank you both. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you for being here today. And thank you to all of our viewers and our listeners for tuning in. As usual, you can find us at vitaledgewellnesscoaching.com. We do not have another retreat on the calendar yet, but we're planning and we're thinking, so stay tuned for that. The one in Sedona recently was very successful, and we'll have more information about that coming out. And in the meantime, take care of yourself, and don't forget to take care of others. We'll see you next time here on Rise and Thrive. Thanks for being here.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thanks for tuning in to Rise and Thrive, a podcast by Vital Edge Wellness Coaching. If you found this episode meaningful, please rate, review, and share it with someone who might need it. For upcoming retreats and to join the Vital Edge Wellness community, head to vitaledgewellnesscoaching.com. Let's rise and thrive together.